I ate chicken feet today. Apparently, it is good for like muscle pain and collagen. Chicken feet is going to revive your face, which you wouldn't think of because when you look at chicken feet, it's very crinkly. Is it going to make my face look like chicken feet? If you have never had chicken feet before, give it a go. Unless you're vegetarian or vegan, then don't give it any type of go. If it's your first time here, hi, I'm Xanthe, the feral academic, and welcome to the authentic academic movement where we are feral, honest, and anti-bullshit. Today, we are talking about Taylor Swift, the honorary doctorate she received in 2022 from NYU. This has been a very controversial topic amongst academics because whenever a celebrity gets a PhD without having gone through university, people are like, oh my gosh, she didn't even have to go through a Viva, or not even having to face the years of self-hatred that we all go through. All opinions aside, I am going to watch her commencement address and see how it relates to the PhD experience, as I am currently a third-year PhD student. Oh, I forgot to explain my crown. I got this crown when I first moved here for my birthday, but I was like, you know what? What if I just kept wearing it for these videos? Because I never get to wear it. We should normalize crowns. It should be gender inclusive, so it doesn't matter if you're a king, queen, or a legend. Why not? If you have not seen Taylor's commencement address, I will link the video down below so you can watch it beforehand, or you can just listen to what I have to say, but I'm not going to edit her speech onto here. Let's do this. I've just started the video, and this is at NYU Tisch School of the Arts. Taylor Swift, Doctor of Fine Arts, also marked as a singer, songwriter, musician, producer, and director. I think that's really so many multi-hyphenate girly. Important thing in this introduction is that it expands on the impact she has been making with her platform, helping charities, women against sexual assault, and then advocating for musicians' rights. And it looks like this was done around the time she was re-recording her albums, like the Taylor's version, due to her not owning the rights unfairly. Thankfully, it did have a happy ending, so she does own the rights of all her albums, but it was such a boss move to be like, well, if you're not going to give me the rights to my own music, I am going to re-record them. Taylor has now said she's 90% sure that the reason she's been invited to speak is because she has a song called 22. And this is in the year 2022. I am going to break down her advice that she's given and read it with a PhD lens. The first thing that Taylor mentions is support. Remembering those who said that we could do it when we didn't have proof that we could do it. We weren't believing in ourselves. I find that to be very important. Like, community is one of the most important things that you can have, no matter where you are, whether it's in academia, specific projects. People are in this world to build relationships with each other. And that's one of the core needs that we have, is to be in community with each other. If you are going through university and you have not established any mentorship type relationships, that's a huge nana. When you're a student, that is the best time to find mentors, get advice from people. You're in a position of privilege where other people you may not have access to are actually excited to help you, because when you hear someone's a student, you're like, ooh, yes, they are full of passion and very genuine. Of course, I would love to give back and help them. That is one of the greatest things you can take advantage of, and which I did. And when I say take advantage, it's not a bad thing. It's more like, okay, I'm in this position where I'm figuring out how to follow in some kind of way the footsteps of people I admire, and just go ahead. And this is your time to email people, because who doesn't want to help like a young student who was inspired by you? And then she's like, welcome to New York. It's been waiting for you. Okay, I'm trying not to sing loud because of my neighbors. So the journey, she starts talking about how she was really young. I think she said like 12, 13 when she started writing songs. She really sets up this imagery of being a young girl just doing homework on airport floors, being in rent-a-cars with her family as they pursued shows and talked to labels who really spoke down to her, would say things like, oh, well, your type of country music, nobody wants to hear about that because you're a child. And see, that's another thing. That's a whole nother topic I could go into, is about like infantilizing people, particularly young women. She's setting up this story of hardship into getting where she is now. But before she goes into it, she says she does not believe in unsolicited advice. I believe in this so hard because this is where you need to be listening to your gut and yourself. Most people mean well, like they're giving you advice. However, the danger of unsolicited advice is that this is not your story, this is not your root. And a lot of the times when people give you advice, they're basing it sometimes within their own self-limiting beliefs. Oh my God, why does my voice sound like froggy? Sometimes people will project their own fears or dreams onto you. Take what is helpful to you and then leave behind the rest. And this section was life hacks. Life can be heavy if you try to carry everything at once. How many of us PhD students do that? You know, we're doing so many things. We're working on a thesis. We have a relationship. Please, our supervisor who's asking us to do this. Your peers who want you to participate in collaborations like this. No. You need to know what to keep and what to release. And I like that she said it like that. This takes all, you know what? This is one of the most important lessons that I have learned since I've started my PhD. Boundary setting. A lot of people do not know how to set boundaries with themselves or others, and it's killing them. It is going to cause you to burn out. You cannot be a people pleaser. It's something that I myself am still working through, but lately I've been able to achieve more than I ever have been at any age in my past. Even if I had more free time in the past, I have been getting so much more done because of boundaries. Just keep the things that you love and the people who are actually supportive and loving of you, because that takes less space than the people who are draining you, those energy vampires. If you take one thing out of this entire video, it's boundaries. I promise you, learn how to set boundaries. Her next tip is to live alongside cringe. This is one of my favorite ones because I love being cringe, and I feel like particularly in the PhD community, they are afraid of being cringe. And being cringe and embracing your cringe is one of the most beautiful things that you can do, because it will free you. It will free your soul. It makes me really sad when you see people in academia that are just like, they're so buttoned up that they can't even breathe, and they cannot be themselves, and they cannot express themselves. No, whether you like it or not. So she says, you'll look back on your life and you will cringe, whether that's like what you're wearing, what you're doing. And yes, you just gotta be okay with it, because you gotta love yourself no matter who you were, right? And I had another video where I was discussing this, which I'll put as well. Even now, it's gotten worse where young people are afraid to be cringe because I want to be nonchalant. I want to be like careless. But he's like, ew, no. I am in this era where I value chalantness. Timothy chalant. Like, nonchalantness is not cool. I would say caring is cool. Cringeness is cool because it's authenticity. Just embrace who you are And that will really open up avenues to your work and your research, because you're wasting space thinking about how professional or academic you look. And it's like, you're wasting space, you're wasting your creative energy. Just be yourself. I mean, don't be impossible and rude or anything, but be feral, because feral is a lifestyle. Some of you are like, what the heck is the feral academic? What does it mean to be feral? And honestly, it just means to be authentic, to be yourself, or at least die trying. And then she talks about everything is an extension of her writing. Editing, writing all night, trying to see what works. She says, you are so many things all of the time. This could not ring more true for the PhD student. That's your whole life for what, 4 to 7 years, maybe more. Embrace being multiple different writer personalities within yourself, because let's say the way you write to your supervisor is not the same way that you would write for an application. It's not the same way that you would write your sister. And this is kind of related to how I feel about academic writing. I find it so annoying that some of these academic books are impossible to read. Oh, you want to feel exclusive and talk in a certain way. It might be something that not many people agree with, because they feel like academic language, it's its own style of writing. And it is, I agree. And it's something that I am learning how to do. However, generally speaking, I think it's a huge problem that not very accessible to people who can't even go to university. So they can find an academic book, but they don't understand it. That doesn't make sense to me. Let's loop back to unsolicited advice, because she mentions this again. She was raised to think that mistakes mean failure, but most of the time, the mistakes led to something better, and they were more valuable and crucial than the wins, than the yeses that she got in life. If we're talking about unsolicited advice, so when I was in the Air Force, I had reached the end of my enlistment. I was in for 5 years, and I had the choice of re-enlisting or leaving and entering civilian world again. And I really wanted to leave because I wanted to go to art school. I had people, mentors that thought of my best interest, right? They were like, oh my goodness, but you're such a good trooper. Why are we losing you? We need people like you in uniform. And I was like, oh my God, it was so much pressure. And then some people tried to scare me. They tried to use fear to get me to stay in. Oh my gosh, but the economy is bad and you will not survive out there. But if you re-enlist here, you're gonna have a stable job. Fast forward, I made my own decision, and I'm so glad I did that. Some people might have worked to re-enlist, some people like to retire there, but for me, I was like, no, I'm so glad that I left. To wrap up this section of her advice, it's look at mistakes as opportunities for better things, a better direction, a better route. And it may not feel that way, but stop thinking of mistakes as failure, because they're not. And that actually makes me think about the PhD. So this is something I'm kind of exploring in my own research, is the way that academia does not like to reveal mistakes, because everyone's kind of like, they want to be the perfect ones. They want to be the ones seen as put together. But the best research is the one where mistakes were made, like not on purpose, obviously, not from negligence, but from genuine discovery. So I feel like if you're working on research or a project and you faced mistakes, it's so important that you acknowledge them and think about how that is going to make yourself better as a researcher and your research project. I 100% believe that. It's like, don't be shamed. You're literally changing things and you're providing more information for someone to build upon and not make the same mistake. Don't be scared. Like, mistakes, they're not failure. They're gifts for someone else and yourself, really. Next tip, get rid of your need for social relevance and likability. Look inward, be true to you. Amen, amen, amen. Academia is a lot about appearances, as we've been talking about, but if you're constantly seeking approval from whoever, the academy, your peers, whatever, it's like, yes, you want to look good, but don't be a people pleaser and don't invalidate your own needs and desires for it. Another one she mentioned, perfectionism. And ooh, I think every one of us in the PhD are perfectionists. That's pretty much a high risk thing. It's like death by perfectionism. I need to take my own advice because I'm a perfectionist, but I've been better about being like, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. I gotta work it. In this case, she was talking about you're gonna misspeak, you're gonna trust the wrong person, you're gonna underreact, overreact, hurt people who don't deserve it, overthink, self-sabotage. And in the end, you can, whatever needs to happen will happen as long as you have self-awareness, like say sorry. But whatever it is, you learned and you're gonna do better next time. Keep learning. And that's what a PhD is like, learning from mistakes and moving forward. You lose things, you gain things. That's life. That's life. A huge concern that many of you are probably thinking about is life after your degree. It's scary, right? Because it's a transitional period. Taylor's like, do you listen to the wisdom of those before you? Do you step away with grace? Do you fight and stand up for yourself? The scary thing is that you don't. You won't know what to do. And you're on your own, kid. And that's scary, right? To be like, oh, you're on your own. But it's also very cool. It's like, you're on your own. Oh my gosh. So you can either feel that being on your own is being lost, or is it freedom? I recommend the latter. You have the whole world in your hands. These were the highlights of Taylor Swift's NYU speech. And the question is, well, does Taylor Swift deserve to be a doctor? She didn't go through the traditional route. She didn't do the Viva. She didn't do all of the hours and hours of research. But you know what I say? Taylor's a feral academic because she didn't have to go the traditional route. And look at how much of a game changer, a world changer she is. And she had basically invited this energy into her space of, because how much she believes in herself and how she did not give up even when she was getting canceled during that period. That's a lot to come back from. That's why she has like these empowering songs. You need to embrace her attitude. Whatever you feel about Taylor Swift, you need to be your own biggest fan, even when you feel like you're world's biggest hater. You need to be your fan, your own fan, when no one else will, even your mama. You need to be a bigger fan of yourself than your mama is. Game changer. I mean, the Eras Tour, she influenced so many people, like so many people that you love, probably. I actually have been inspired to make another video about how some of her songs can encapsulate the PhD experience. That is all for now. This is about to die. It's at 5%. And I don't want to lose what I just said. That is it for tonight. Please subscribe if you liked this video. I would so appreciate it. Or press like and add it to your playlist, whatever. I would love ya for it, genuinely speaking. It's a love story, baby, just say yes and subscribe. Speaking of being cringe, I told you, I warned you. Again, my name is Xanthe. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me, the Feral Academic YouTube channel. I hope I will see you in the next video. In the meantime, have a beautiful morning, afternoon, or night. Sending love, hugs, and legal drugs. Love you so much and take care. Bye.